Peacock has finally dropped its new series, The Paper, the long-awaited spinoff to The Office. With Greg Daniels back, plus Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant involved, there's a lot of buzz around whether this mockumentary sitcom could be the next big hit. So let's talk about how the first season stacks up. The series actually opens right back where it all started, the Scranton Business Park. Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration tells the documentary crew that Dunder Mifflin officially closed in 2019 after being bought out by a Toledo-based company called Innervate. They specialize in all things paper, office supplies, toilet paper, and even local newspapers, like the Toledo Truth Teller, where our new story unfolds. This also explains why Oscar Martinez shows up in the new spinoff, because Bob Vance explains that after Dunder Mifflin was bought out, Phyllis had the option to move to Toledo but didn't. But clearly, Oscar did. From the very beginning, the tone feels familiar, yet fresh. The theme music echoes The Office, but with its own flair. And the humor lands early. When interim editor Esmeralda Gran walks in, she gives this dramatic line about how the newspaper business takes a nose for news. Meanwhile, right outside the window behind her, a whole building is on fire. The gag comes when she turns around, looks at the fire, turns back to camera, and says, "What?" And the joke pays off again at the end of the pilot episode when the building is still burning. That's the kind of absurd background humor we expect in this universe. The standout new character is Ned Sampson, played by Domhnall Gleeson. If you recognize Domhnall Gleeson, it's probably because you saw him in Disney's Star Wars trilogy. But in this universe, he's introduced as the new managing editor, replacing Esmeralda. Ned's the perfect mix. Part Jim Halpert, part Leslie Knope, with flashes of Andy Bernard's nervous energy. He even says he preferred Clark Kent over Superman because Clark worked at a newspaper. From the start, you can tell he's built to carry this show. Another highlight is Mare, played by Chelsea Frei. Her chemistry with Ned is fantastic, fun, natural, and totally in line with the kind of workplace romances Greg Daniels has written so well for so many years. Think Jim and Pam, or Leslie and Ben. Honestly, their dynamic is my favorite part of the season, and the finale teases some big things for them moving forward. My personal favorite episode was episode 5, titled Scam Alert. Esmeralda gets catfished by someone pretending to be Josh Holloway from Lost, and the entire office jumps on a dating app called Latch to catch the scammer. It's easily the funniest episode of the season, packed with laugh-out-loud moments, and reminded me why this mockumentary style works so well when the whole cast leans into the bit. But it's not all perfect. Let's start with Oscar, the only returning Office character. At first, it's a funny gag that when he first sees the camera, he refuses to participate in the documentary. But after a couple episodes, this attitude makes him come off as more of a jerk, more than the no-nonsense guy we knew from Scranton. He redeemed himself eventually, but it didn't always feel like the same Oscar. And then there's Esmeralda. She had her funny moments, but she felt a little too wacky. Almost like they were trying to recreate Nellie Bertram's early unlikable energy from The Office. The writing often pushed her into cartoon territory, and I'm not sure how sustainable this will be for future seasons. That being said, I hope there are future seasons. The paper shows a ton of promise in its freshman campaign. I'd actually argue that its first season is stronger than both the first seasons of The Office and Parks and Rec, because remember, before you unfairly try to compare this show to The Office and Parks and Rec directly, remember that both shows struggled out of the gate before finding their footing in later seasons. The cast clicks, the jokes land more often than not, and the DNA of Greg Daniels' sitcom world is alive and well. If they refine Esmeralda's character, continue building Ned and Mare's relationship, and lean into the workplace absurdity, this show could really become something special. Between the nostalgia of the Office connection and the fresh energy of the newsroom setting, the paper might just be the next mockumentary classic. So there you have it. What did you think of the paper? Let us know in the comments what your favorite parts were. Until then, I'm Roman Gennaro, this is Fandom Fix, and we'll see you on the next video.